This video is about Top 70 Rap and Hip Hop Musicians, their age, their net worth, and their state of origin. At number 70, is 6ix9ine. This rapper is 29 years old. From New York and is worth over $900,000. At number 69 is Lil TJ. This rapper is 23 years old from New York and is worth over $2 million. Number 68 is Coi Leray. This rapper is 26 years old from New Jersey and she is worth over $3 million. Next is Ghana. He is 31 years old from Georgia and he is worth over $4 million. Next is Designer. This rapper is 27 years old. He is from New York and is worth over $5 million. Next on my list is Lil Nas X. This famous rapper is 25 years old from Georgia, and he is worth over $7 million. At number 64 is Young Thug. This rapper is 33 years old from Georgia, and he is worth over $8 million. Number 63 is Lil Durk. This rapper is 32 years old from Illinois, and he is worth over $8 million. Next is Tyga. This rapper is 35 years old, from California, and he is worth over $9 million. At number 61 is Lil Baby. This rapper is 30 years old, from Georgia, and he has a net worth of $9 million. At number 60 is A$AP Rocky. This famous rapper is 36 years old, from New York and is worth over $10 million. Next is Swae Lee. This rapper is 31 years old, from Mississippi, and has a net worth of $10 million. Next is Eve. This female rapper is from Pennsylvania. She is 46 and worth over $12 million. Next is Gucci Mane. This rapper is 44 years old, from Georgia, and is worth $14 million. Number 56 is 21 Savage. He is 32 years old from Georgia, and is worth over $16 million. Number 55 is Busta Rhymes. This rapper is from New York. He's 52 and is worth over $20 million. Next is Lil Uzi Vert. This rapper is 29 years old, from Pennsylvania, and is worth $25 million. Next is Big Sean. Big Sean is 37 years old, from Michigan, and is worth $26 million. Next is Quavo. Quavo is 33 years old, from Georgia, and he is worth $28 million. Next is Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy is 34, from Georgia, and he is worth $35 million. Next is French Montana. He is 40, from Morocco, and is worth $35 million. Next is Ludacris. He is 47 years old from Illinois, and is worth $40 million. Next is Lizzo. She is 37 years old, from Michigan, and she's worth $42 million. Number 47 is Run DMC. He is 60 years old, from New York, and is worth $44 million. Next is Akon. He is 52 years old, from Senegal, and is worth $45 million. Next is 50 Cent. He is 49 from New York, and is worth $47 million. Next is Common. He is 53 years old from Illinois, and he is worth $49 million. Next is William. He is 50, from California, and he is worth $50 million. Next is Post Malone. This rapper is 29 years old, from New York, and is worth $52 million. Next is J-Hope. This rapper is 30, from South Korea, and is worth $54 million. Number 40 is Future. He is 40 years old from Georgia, and is worth $56 million. Next is Flo Rida. Flo Rida is 44, from Florida, and is worth $56 million. Next is Daddy Yankee. He is 48, from Puerto Rico, and is worth $58 million. Next is Chamillionaire. He is 45, from Washington, D.C., and is worth $59 million. Next is Bad Bunny. He is 30 years old from Puerto Rico, and is worth $59 million. Next is PSY. He is 47, from South Korea, and is worth $60 million. Next is Joseph Simmons. Joseph is 59, from New York, and is worth $62 million. At 33 is J. Cole. Cole is 39, from Germany and is worth $64 million. At 32 is Ice-T. Ice-T is 66 years old from New Jersey, and is worth $65 million. Next is Wiz Khalifa. Khalifa is 36, from North Dakota, and is worth $70 million. At 30 is Nelly. Nelly is 50 years old, from Texas, and is worth $73 million. At 29 is Nas. Nas is 51 years old, from New York, and is worth $75 million. Next is Kendrick Lamar. He is 36, from California, and is worth $75 million. Next is DJ Khaled. He's 37 from California, and worth $77 million. Next are Migos. They're from Georgia, and they are worth $80 million. Next is Cardi B. She is 31 from New York, and she's worth $84 million. Next is Timberland. He is 52 years old from Virginia, and is worth $87 million. Next is Yo Gotti. He is 42 of age, from Tennessee, and is worth $102 million. Next is Pitbull. He is 43, from Florida, and is worth $104 million. Next is Mike D from the Beastie Boys. He's 58, from New York, and is worth $105 million. Next is KSI. He's 31, from England, and is worth $107 million. Next is Ad Rock from Beastie Boys. He's 58, from New York, and is worth $109 million. Next is LL Cool J. He's 56 from New York, and is worth $120 million. Next is Swizz Beatz. He is 45 from New York, and is worth $152 million. Next is Ronald Slim Williams. He is 60 from Louisiana, and is worth $154 million. Next is Rick Ross. He is 48 from Mississippi, and is worth $154 million. Next is Nicki Minaj. This rapper is 41 from New York, and she's worth $155 million. Next is Birdman. He is 56 from Louisiana, and is worth $158 million. Next is Snoop Doggy Dogg. He's 53 from California, and worth $160 million. Next is Ice Cube. He is 55 from California, and worth $167 million. Next is Lil Wayne. He is 42 from Louisiana, and is worth $170 million. Next is Usher. Usher is 46 from Texas, and is worth $180 million. Next is Master P. He is 54 from Louisiana, and is worth $200 million. Next is Pharrell Williams. He is 51 from Virginia, and is worth $250 million. Next is Eminem. Eminem is 52 from Missouri, and he is worth $254 million. Next is Drake. Drake is 38 from Canada, and is worth $257 million. Next is Kanye West. West is 47 from Georgia, and he is worth $400 million. Next is Dr. Dre. Dre is 59 from California, and worth $500 million. Next is Diddy. Diddy is 55, from New York, and is worth $800 million. Next is Jay-Z. He is 55 years old from New York, and he is the richest rapper in the world, with a net worth of $2 billion. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching.